Tuition fees are the largest expense for most college and university students and have almost doubled for undergraduate programs in the last decade. Let me shock you. Tuition fees have increased faster than inflation, with the average annual tuition for Canadian undergraduates increasing by 2.91% to $7,360. Remember that there are other education-related expenses such as books, housing, and other stuff that should be planned for. But did you know that the government will literally give away free money to help pay for your children's college or university tuition? Yes. It's all thanks to the Registered Education Savings Plan, otherwise known as the RESP. Stick around because in this video, we will break down what a RESP is and how it works, how much you can contribute and what the government gives you for free, and we'll cover pitfalls to avoid with the RESP from our own mistakes. So if you're an immigrant in Canada, you're a parent, you have young children, and you're wondering how can I afford, to pay for my children's education or tuition, this video is for you. This video will be in two parts because we want to share a lot of information without overwhelming you, our amazing audience. So watch out for part 2 of this RESP series. We might even do a part 3 if we have more things to share with you. Yeah, it's a lot to share. Okay, so welcome
back to Money Secret, where we teach you strategies and tips on how to win with money. My name is Ezekiel.
My name is Kike.
And we are the
Adeles.
Now, what is an RESP? The RESP is a special savings account designed to help parents save for their child's post-secondary education. The best part is that the Canadian government contributes to your child's future through grants. You can open an RESP at most banks, credit union, or investment firms. The money inside grows tax-free until your child withdraws it for school. It can be used for tuition, books, housing, and other education-related expenses.
So I wanted to point out that the RESP, Registered Education Savings Plan, is not a savings account. Like, it is much more powerful than a savings account, right? You can use it to invest, and that is how you should actually be using the RESP, so that you can get enough returns to cover your child's tuition expenses or school-related expenses. Okay, it's an investment account.
Yes, it is. We mostly call it government grant. It's like free money for your child, right?
Yeah.
Now, here is the exciting part. The government matches a portion of your contributions. This is called the Canada Education Savings Grant, CESG. The government gives you 20% on every dollar you contribute. Guys, that's a whole lot. 20% is a
guaranteed
whole lot.
Return.
Guaranteed, yes. From everything you contribute into that account, up to $500 per child. The lifetime maximum grant is $7,200 per child. Lower income families may qualify for even more through additional grants like the Canada Learning Bond, CLB, which offers up to $2,000 per child without needing to contribute a dime. That's a whole lot of money, guys.
So contributing $2,500 each year ensures you get the maximum CESG. That's the free money from the government, $7,200. There's a lifetime max on the CESG. The maximum grant for each child is $7,200, right? So once you contribute $36,000, you would have reached the maximum government grant. So if you decide to exceed the $36,000, you won't get any more grant from the government. So here's a strategy. If you contribute $2,500 each year, it will take 15 years to maximize the grant. So that will be 14 years plus a $1,000 contribution on the 15th year to be exact. But what happens if you're starting late or if you've missed out on some contributions? You can actually catch up, okay? You don't worry too much about it. You can catch up. The RESP allows you to carry forward unused CESG room. You can contribute up to $5,000 per year to get $1,000 in grants until you catch up on your previous missed contributions. options. So here's a pro tip. If you have extra cash, prioritize catching up on your past grant loan to maximize your returns. That's 20% guaranteed return from the government. So for us, we fund our kids' RESP with a portion of the child benefit that we receive. So guys, make sure or try. I know like the cost of living is really high. Things are going crazy in the economy. But try as much as possible to put aside some of your child's benefits for their education. We don't spend all our child benefits on, family expenses or kids' activities. So you may want to consider this option as well. But it's up to you at the end of the day.
So guys, now let's talk about growing this money. This is what we are excited to talk about. We are so excited to talk about it because it's been working for us, right? And we can see it. Because of the way tuition fees are increasing, it is very, very vital for you that you invest that money to generate healthy returns to be able to fund your kids' education comfortably, because this money grows as time, that's what we call the what do we call it? Compound interest. It's compounding over time, right? You can invest this RESP in GIC, Guaranteed Investment Certificate. It is very, very safe, but there will be limited growth to it. So to generate higher growth potential over the long term, you need to invest in the stock market. Consider buying mutual funds and exchange traded funds, stocks and bonds. Commit to learning how the stock market works, but do not overthink it at all. It is very simple, but all you need to do is to learn how to do it. You get to it over time. We manage our kids' family RESP after we realized the mistake we made that cost us thousands of dollars in returns. So we will share all the details in part 2 if you really want to get the gist of how we invested and it cost us a lot of money, but then you have to watch the part 2 of this video. For now, here is a pro tip for you. If your child is young, from 0 to 10 years old, invest in high growth options like equities. What do we mean by equities? I mean ETFs or diversified index fund, even stocks, to take advantage of compound growth. If your child is older, from 11 to 17 years of age, shift towards safer investments like bonds or GIC to protect the money from market downturn. If you have multiple children, you may want to consider opening a family RESP instead of an individual RESP account for each child. Here are some benefits of the family RESP. You can share funds between kids. So if one child decides not to pursue post-secondary education, you can just transfer the funds to the next child. Okay. And also, it's easier to manage a family RESP than multiple individual RESP accounts. So let's talk about withdrawal. What happens when your child goes to school? When your child is ready for college or university, they can withdraw money from the RESP. And here's how it works. Even though the RESP is one account, there are two buckets that the withdrawal comes from that you need to keep in mind. One is the EAP, Educational Assistance Payments, and the second one is the PSE, Post-Secondary Education Withdrawals. So talking about the EAP, this money comes from government grants and investment growth. Since this money has not been taxed before, and this is Canada, once the money is withdrawn, that's the grant and the investment growth, guess what? You pay a little bit of tax on it. And the good thing is that the tax will be paid by the beneficiary of the account. That's, your child, okay? So during the education years, they probably don't have, any income or very little income. So they'll be paying little to no tax. So that's a good thing. For the first 13 weeks of schooling, the maximum EAP withdrawal is $8,000. If the student is enrolled part-time, the maximum EAP withdrawal is $4,000 for the first 13 weeks of schooling. The annual educational assistance payment threshold limit for 2025 is $28,881. This amount is determined by the government to keep up with inflation. It's to keep up with inflation. So it's going to change from year to year. So now the second bucket is the PSE,
post-secondary education withdrawals. This refers to withdrawing your own contributions to the RESP. Since you already paid tax on this money before you contributed it, it can be withdrawn tax-free once your child is enrolled in an eligible post-secondary education program. So there are eligibility requirements as well, as determined by the federal government. So check out canada.ca to learn more.
Okay guys, here is the final tips for maximizing your RESP. Number one, you need to start as early as possible to take full advantage of the grant and compounding. When is the start time, my dear?
Right now.
Right now. You need to start right now. Number two, if you are starting late, use the carry forward option to catch up on missed grants. Number three, you need to choose investments based on your child's age and risk tolerance. Number four, use a family RESP if you have multiple kids to keep things flexible. That is, if you have a child who does not go to school, you can transfer that fund to the one that wants to go to school. So that account is very flexible. And lastly, number five, encourage grandparents and relatives to contribute whatever they want to give to your kids as gifts into that RESP account. That grows over time, right?
Absolutely. Instead of gifts, they contribute money.
Contribute
Thank
money.
you.
Yeah.
So now I have a question for you. Are you currently using an RESP for your kids? If not, what's holding you back? Drop a comment below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with another parent who needs to hear this. Let's make smart money moves together in 2025 and, support our children's future as much as we can. Watch out for part 2 of this RESP video where we talk about pitfalls to avoid when investing for your children's education.
Until next time, bye.